All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 26, 2025 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. We'll call the meeting to order. And Mr. Arsenault, actually, please lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Dear God, thank you for bringing us here together, God. Thank you for safe travel to and from. We pray that you would bless our meeting, bless our discussions and decisions, that we would keep the parish of Ascension at the forefront of our thoughts and intentions, God. We thank you for the opportunity to serve the parish and our neighbors. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
See, thank you, Mr. Arsenault. We'll move on to item number 2, roll call. Ms. Secretary, Mr. Robert is absent and all other members are present. Item number 3, Chair's Edition. I do have just one minor Chair's Edition. So we're going to take agenda item 9A, the resolution for the Martinez Pavilion, and I'm going to move that to item number 5.1, which will make it the first of our presentations. And our public comment sign-in period. If anyone would like to speak on any of our agenda items, please come see Ms. McKee over here. She has the red and green cards. Fill it out whenever we get to that agenda item. I'll call you up and you have 3 minutes to speak on that item at the podium. And now, moving on to item number 5, presentations. And as I just said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with our resolution to honor the life and legacy of Ms. Martinez with the naming of Lamar Dixon Expo Center Barns 7 and 8, the Martinez Pavilion. Mr. Compton.
Thank you, Chairman and Council. I'm going to read the resolution for you. Whereas Mayola Gotro Martinez was born on January 11th, 1921, to Alman and Marie Gotro, and peacefully departed this life on July 25th, 2013, after 92 and a half years of love, faith, and service to her family and community. And whereas she was a lifelong resident of Ascension Parish, whose roots in this community were deep and enduring, and whose influence continues to be felt through the generations of lives she touched. And whereas Mayola was married for 36 years to Milton Nutch Martinez until his passing in 1972, and together they raised 6 children: Milton, Arnold, Cop, Gerald Mucci, Tommy, Diane, and Carolyn. And whereas she was the proud and loving grandmother of 22 grandchildren whose lives were shaped by her values, warmth, and unwavering devotion. And whereas Mayola lived a life defined not by material wealth, but by an abundance of love, integrity, and compassion. Her home was always open, her stove always warm, and her heart always full. And whereas her children and grandchildren remember her as their greatest cheerleader, a beacon of selflessness and grace, who taught them by example how to live with honor and purpose. And whereas her legacy is one of joy, humility, kindness, and an ability to make anyone feel like the most important person in the room. Her presence brought light and laughter, earning her the cherished title of our sunshine. And whereas Mayola Martinez's enduring spirit and the values she embodied continue to uplift and inspire all those who were blessed to know her. And whereas it is fitting and proper that her legacy be permanently honored in a place where families and communities gather, work, and celebrate, just as she gathered and loved her own family throughout her life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Ascension Parish Council does hereby honor the life and memory of Mayola Gotro Martinez and declares that Barns 7 and 8 at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Ascension Parish be named the Martinez Pavilion as a lasting tribute to her legacy of love, strength, and service. We would like to present this award and recognition to Tommy Martinez and his family, and we would invite Tommy to come up and say a few words.
Certainly want to, I'm lost for words tonight, which is something that seldom happens with me, but I just want to say how much I deeply appreciate this, how much my family appreciates it, and if my mother was here, she would sit up here and she would probably cook y'all supper tonight. But she was a person that was giving and never had a bad word to say about anyone, and she would love Lamar Dixon the way I do, and it's fitting that her name be put on a pavilion there. It's just something that I know would mean a lot to her, and she'll probably fly down from heaven and live there for eternity. So I appreciate this, and I appreciate all of you. I appreciate what you do. I know it's not an easy job. Just like when we bought Lamar Dixon, you know, people were hollering at me, screaming at me, telling me, and Dennis was there when it all happened, you know, but it was something that I thought for the future of Ascension Parish that needed to be done for the children of this parish for the future, and look what it's grown into now. I mean, it's beyond what we ever thought it would be, and of course, we certainly have to thank Ms. Dixon and her husband for what they did. So thanks again. This is my sister. I got 2 sisters living and myself. I had 3 other brothers, and they all gone. So I keep telling my sister we need to change the trend. So, but anyway, thank y'all a lot, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, the administration, and thank all of you on behalf of my family and myself. Thank you.
Take a picture. Come on, Council.
So I did have a motion from Mr. PT. I got a second from Mr. Hillinsback. Any objection? Hearing none? So moved. And Mr. Tommy, after him being a huge part of the acquisition of Lamar Dixon, it's only fitting that Martinez name will hang there indefinitely, so. Okay. How about another round of applause for the Martinez family? Let's see, awesome. Okay, so we are moving on now to item 5A, and this is the recognition of the Ascension Parish Finance Department for Government Finance Officers Association of the Triple Crown Award. And so I understand we have a.
I'm gonna go ahead and
okay.
introduce. So we'll have the finance team come up around us. So as y'all know, we have the financial department has won a lot of awards back in the day, right? And it's year after year, but this one's special, right? And it's the Triple Crown, and it's a very prestigious award. But I don't think that I can personally go in and describe how important it is. So I invited a special guest to come in and talk a little bit about how prestigious this award is. So I can have a special guest come out.
Thank you, President Quintmore. This really is an honor to be able to come here and talk about this award. You know, I love all of y'all, and I don't think people really appreciate what it takes to get an award like this. Like you said, it's been 3 separate awards. And yes, we have had the Excellence in Financial Reporting for the last 15 years. We've had the Distinguished Budgeting Award for the last 13 years, but the Popular Report was always the tough one. And I couldn't be prouder from looking online and looking at the document. If you have not seen it, you really need to go online and look at it. It is the document that summarizes everything. It puts demographic information, it puts the financial information in easy to read formats, it's got charts, it's got the capital capital plan in it, which is amazing, which is something I know that we had talked about for years. So it's really an impressive document, and you put that along with open finance, and the transparency for Ascension Parish is just head and shoulders above everybody else. In fact, when I looked at the GFOA's website, there's only one other government entity in Louisiana that has achieved the Triple Crown. So it is truly a big honor. It was a lot of work. I know Dawn spent a lot of time on this, and Amanda too. I heard that you were huge in getting this done. I know we talked about it for a long time, but it was always just so overwhelming. And when you look at the document, you see why. And you can tell how much time and effort went into it, and that's why it's important. And you know, when I was here and I was called away, you know, it was tough to leave. It really was. But I knew that the people here were so amazing that the parish was going to just keep thriving. So I tell them all the time that I miss them every day, and I still do. And I couldn't be prouder. And so it is my honor to be able to present in recognition for receiving the GFOA Triple Crown Award to Dawn and your team.
Thank you. I'll keep it short and sweet. I just want to say thank you for the recognition. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. These are an amazing group of women who I work with every day. They're wonderful, and I'm so blessed and honored to work with them. And thank you all for everything you do for all of us. Thank you.
Well, they haven't contacted me. I know. Because EA brought their stuff in already in such town. Huh?
Let's see, all right.
I've always done EA and Dutch Town. Did the same with Brown.
Again, Ms. Dawn, your whole team, congratulations to y'all. It's awesome. Okay, speaking of finance, our next item is 5B. We got the audit of our 2024 performance here. We got Mr. Jacob Waggis back with Falk and Winkler.
Thank you, Mr. Good evening, Council, Parish President. Tonight, we're here to present the results of the 2024 financial audit of the parish. Before I get started, I do want to just give congratulations to the finance staff. 15 years ago, I remember when we first did the first award, it's a lot of effort. They took on the budget award 13 years ago. I know the detail that goes into it. It reports at a different level than what's required by the standards. The budget is prepared on a different level than what is required by state law. So congratulations to them for that effort. I do have a presentation. You have the slides up? No. Okay. I did hand them out. If you want to follow me with the handout, we can go that route. Starting off with slide 2. So this just kind of summarizes everything we're doing as we're going through the financial audit. We're not just verifying balances and things of that nature. There's a lot of targeted and random expenditure selection. revenue selection, just depends what we hear from personnel that they're concerned about, what we see in the news, what we get, what we read in meeting minutes. So a lot of effort goes into what we select and what we look at. And they've got to comply with a lot of laws. We test a lot of travel, a lot of reimbursements, and verifying different things such as wages and invoices and stuff like that. On top of that, we do look at laws and regulations, few big ones: public bid law, local governmental budget act, then compliance with your bonds that are outstanding, as well as the federal monies you receive, to make sure you're in compliance with all those regulations. On the next slide, just going to give some high-level numerical data. This first slide has the revenues for the governmental fund types. This year, we surpassed $200 million in revenue for governmental funds. Big item here is sales tax, right at about $82 million for the year, following by property taxes of $52 million. You'll see some substantial growth in the yellow, which is your grants. We recognize about $36 million in grant revenue for the year. About a third of that was the federal funding we got during COVID. So you recognize those funds as you expend them. We expended about $9.5 million, or recognized about $9.5 million during the year. We do have about $5 million in our bank accounts that is earmarked for certain projects as of year end. Other grant revenue was related to roads and drainage, totaling about $7.5 million. And then we did do some retroactive claims through FEMA on some of the disaster-related expenditures, totaling about $6 million for the year. The second slide breaks down the sales tax collections. As I said, about $83 million in total for 2024. Right at about 48% of that is unrestricted in nature. That's your sales tax number one fund. That hit about $40 million for the year. But where I'm getting at is that most of the money in sales tax, your sales tax number two, is restricted in nature. Most of that going to roads and fire protection, as well as paying some debt. And then lastly, you have about $24 million that go in sales tax that goes to drainage. Flipping to slide 5, with that unrestricted sales tax, so this is basically the dollars that pay for any unfunded activities in the parish. So the big items that we expend sales tax on is running general administration, but also we do fund recreation. The vast majority of our recreation and the vast majority of our road spending with this funding. On average, we're putting about $12 million of that $47 million into roads and rec. So we're using a large chunk of that for unfunded mandates, unfunded activities. The other items we're funding with that is a lot of our capital projects. That sort of is hit and miss, just depending on what projects administration has budgeted. But for the year, we transferred about $8.4 million of the $47 million to capital project funding. Next slide has the expenditures. The big item in blue here, that's your day-to-day operations. Sort of what catches my eye the most about this one is it hasn't grown much over the past 5 years. Even with some inflation over the last 2 to 3 years, the operational cost has only increased by about 2.3%, and that just serves to show you management of the money has been steady over a period of time. The big item, the big increase here is capital projects. As I said, we recognize a lot of grant revenue. That grant revenue was utilized for a lot of capital needs within the parish. We spent about $48 million in 2024 on capital-related items. So it was a large number for the current fiscal year. On average, we're spending about $30 million a year on capital-related items. And year-end cash and investments, so on hand, we're right over 350 million in the bank on cash and investments. Of that, the vast majority, about 189,000 of that, 189 million of that is restricted in nature for capital outlay. A lot of that's in drainage and some other project funds. Some of it's with some bond money. And then another 126 million of that is restricted for operations. So those two pockets of money are dedicated for certain services that you give to your constituents. That leaves you only about $42 million. That's what we call your reserves or your rainy day funds that can be used by administration, used with council direction as to anything that's unfunded in nature. The next slide will show you the fund balances sort of by function. At year end, the parish had total fund balances of 372 million. In your general and your sales and use tax, you had right under $50 million. That's basically what we look at your reserve number at. That's got to fund any circumstances where if revenues were to stop, that's where the funding has to come from. If a hurricane comes through, that's where your money that you have to advance to pay for expenditures come from while you wait for FEMA to reimburse you. On the last slide I have for you are the actual results of the audit reports. So on the independent auditors report, we issued 3 independent auditors reports. The first being over the financial statements. We had again an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion we can issue over financial statements. The second item is reporting and compliance over governmental accounting standards. There are a couple of reportable items we'll go through on that item, but we did have an unmodified opinion as well. And then lastly, you were required to do a audit over your federal grant programs. You had in excess of about 15 million in federal expenditures claimed for the year. When you hit 750,000, that's when this type of audit kicks in. We do have one item there that we related to compliance that we did have reported, but again, unmodified opinion over compliance. So the 3 reportable items we have, the first is related to just some accounting matters. A lot of your billings, you have billing systems that are independent of your accounting system. We did have some adjustments we had to make to get those to match up. Mostly timing differences, but some easy fixes we've got with your finance staff to get some policies and procedures in place to get that straightened out. The second item, with the sale of the sewer assets during the year, a lot of those assets were purchased with federal dollars over a number of years. There was one item, it was a large generator that was tied to a sewer system over at Lamar-Dixon that we did not notify the federal agencies that we were selling that asset. The way the rules are on the federal audits, we have to report that to your granting agency. So it's been rectified, it's been reported, so all that should be behind us at this point in time. And then the last item, this is the item that I believe you've been made aware of. It's been in the paper, but you did have a couple of instances of misappropriation of public assets. These were self-reported to the legislative auditor. One was dealing with some work on public land, and the other was we had an employee utilizing a vehicle for personal use. So again, these were self-reported to the legislative auditor, but it is required because each instance is over $1,000 that we report this in our audit report as well. So the positive there is it was caught internally, but it is required of us to put this in the audit. So that concludes sort of what I had to communicate to you. If you have any questions, happy to take those.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Waxman? No?
All right. we appreciate the time, and we thank your staff and administration for giving us the opportunity and working with us.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Okay. Agenda item number 6, the parish presence report. Mr.
Yep.
President?
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Council. The 30th Annual Juneteenth Celebration, co-hosted by the City of Donaldsonville, was a huge success. I want to thank you, the council, for your support in this parish-city collaboration in hosting this important event. Our Recreation Department will host its monthly sock hop tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Lamar Dixon Ascension Gym. The theme is 4th of July, so don't forget your desserts. By the way, the next Donaldsonville sock hop is Friday, July 18th at the Lemon Center. The theme is Country Western. Speaking of Donaldsonville, the City of Donaldsonville will celebrate Independence Day on July 3rd at Crescent Park from 4 to 10 p.m. There will be live music and fireworks, which will begin at 9:30. It is not too early to start planning to volunteer for our Youth Fest. This year, the East Bank Youth Fest will take place on Saturday, July 26th at Lamar Dixon Rev Center from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is the final week to sign up to be a vendor at the East Bank event. We still need volunteers as well. See our socials for further information. The West Bank Youth Fest will take place Saturday, August 2nd at the WAG Center from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Since we won't meet again before the 4th of July holiday, I would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy and safe Independence Day. Thank you, Chair. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. All right, item number 7, the consent agenda. At this time, would anyone like to remove anything from the consent agenda for further discussion? No? All right, Chair, entertain a motion. I got a motion from Mr. Vornado, a second from Mr. Hillensbeck. Any objection? Hearing none, so move. One second. All right. Planning and zoning recommendations, 8A. Zoning review ID PZ-3667.25 lot Y1A for Deshay Wagaspack located on the north side of LA Highway 933, approximately 700 feet east of Highway 44 to amend Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential to mixed use 2. And this is to accept or deny the recommendation of the zoning commission to approve the rezone. Got a motion by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. P.T. Any questions, any comments about this rezone? Any objection? Hearing none, so move. All right, 8B, zoning review ID PZ-3677.25, Division of McCall Plantation for Evan Bell Court, located on the north side of LA Highway 45, approximately 2,000 feet east of LA1, north to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from Conservation District to mixed use, light industrial, medium industrial, and heavy industrial to accept or deny the recommendation of the zoning commission to approve the rezone. Got a motion by Mr. Joseph, a second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Any objection, any questions? Hearing none, so move. I would just add a comment. I know the mayor is here, and look, just another little kudos, shout out for what we're doing there on the West Bank. You and Mr. Joseph, parish president. From what I understand, just the Hyundai alone is going to more than double the salaries on the West Bank of household income. So great things happening, and y'all keep it up. Very exciting. 8C, zoning review, ID PZ 3678.25, 140 acre and 260 acre tract north of McCall Bayou for Bellside Company LLC located on the west side of LA1, approximately 6,800 feet north of LA45 to amend the Ascension Parish zoning from Conservation District to Light Industrial District, Medium Industrial, and Heavy Industrial to accept or deny the Zoning Commission's recommendation to approve the rezone. We've got a motion by Mr. Joseph, a second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Any questions, any objection? Hearing none, so move. All right, general business. As a reminder, 9A was moved up for the Martinez family. We've visited it already. 9B is the approval to proceed with an ordinance to update the transportation impact fee program and recommendations to adjust the transportation impact fee per ordinance. And I want let me see. Ms. Poche, thank you. This is exactly what we asked for. Thank you for, taking care of this and knocking it out. Really, really appreciate it. Me personally, I'm good with the 90 or the 95%. That 95% is almost spot on where we were. And that was my goal, just kind of bump the brakes maybe for a few years and with inflation and everything. So
Sure.
I truly want to thank you for knocking this out for us.
Oh, no problem at all. I mean, it's basically just a matter of, I wanted to bring it to you this evening so that you guys could decide on the 90 or 95 or whatever you wanted to do, and then that way we could prepare the ordinance for the introduction at the next meeting.
Perfect. Perfect. If anyone has any questions for Mr. Poche, if not, I'll entertain a motion on. Okay, I got a motion for the 95% from Mr. Vornado. Second. A second from Mr. Cullen. Any objection? Any questions?
Chairman, we need a motion to introduce this on July 17th as an ordinance.
A motion to introduce at 95% on July 17th, and a second from Mr. Cullen. Does that still hold, Mr. Cullen? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I'm still so excited. All right, any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you, Mr. Eric. All right, 9C, a resolution to approve the 2025 multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan for OEP, updated and outline strategies that reduce risk from natural disasters, safeguard lives, and protect property, enhancing overall community resilience. Oh, hey, Ms. Rachel, how are you? Would you give just a brief overview of what this is? I don't think everybody's on that email thread for the last few months with
Okay. So this is an update to the hazardous mitigation plan. It's a requirement by FEMA, and it has to be updated every 5 years. So what we do is we coordinate with all the cities and municipalities. We come together. I think our first meeting was in June of last year. So it is a lengthy process to do to meet all FEMA requirements. But the good thing is the state partners with the Stevenson Disaster Institution, so it's at no cost to the local parishes. So basically, it's our time and our effort of what we put into it. So we had meetings with the public, we had meetings with all the cities and municipalities. And it's a multi-jurisdictional plan that helps us to get some mitigation funds if they're available. And it meets the FEMA requirement to get any other mitigation grant funding for the future. So this is it's a standard plan. We've done it the same, just updated and met, and it's due every 5 years.
Okay.
So all the cities have approved this resolution. So after tonight, we will submit it back to FEMA, and it will go get final approval. And then once we get the final approval, it goes back to the public, and then we will be eligible for FEMA mitigation funds in the future.
T4. And as a governing body, we do have to approve the resolution. So, all right, we got a motion by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Rachel? Okay. Any objection? Hearing none. So, thank you. All right, 10A, the introduction of an ordinance to budget amendment number 3, the approval to amend the 2025 budget. Motion introduced by Mr. Vornado. All right, 11A, public hearing ordinances. Reading of an ordinance to revoke a 30.75 foot portion of an existing 100-foot drainage servitude located across southern portion of lot 17 and 18 of Cessna Street. Second filing, Mr. Robert.
Thank you. Purpose, to revoke a 30.75-foot portion of an existing 100-foot drainage servitude located across southern portion of lots 17 and 18 of Cessna Street, second filing property. Property as depicted on the SJB Group LLC map recorded at instrument number 1095831. Whereas the petitioner has petitioned the Ascension Parish Council to revoke a 30.75-foot portion of an existing 100-foot drainage servitude located across the southern portion of lots 17 and 18 of the Cessna Street second filing property. Property is depicted on the SJB Group LLC map, recorded at instrument number 1095831. And whereas the Planning Department, Engineering Department, and all relevant utility companies have reviewed and researched said requests and have no objection to the revocation. As such, the Parish of Ascension hereby ordains that it grants approval of the revocation of a 30.75-foot portion of an existing 100-foot drainage servitude located across southern portion of Lot 17 and 18 of the Cessna Street second filing property. Property is depicted on the SJB Group LLC map, recorded at instrument number 1095831, attached hereto and made a part hereof as Exhibit A. Repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby henceforth repealed. Severability. If any portion of this ordinance is held to be invalid, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions herein which can be given effect without the invalid provisions. And to this end, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared to be severable. Effective date, this ordinance shall become effective 15 days after adoption.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Vornado, a second by Ms. P.T. Motion to close by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. Arsenault. Motion to move the ordinance by Ms. P.T. Second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. All right, we have a few executive sessions. Our first one is 12A. It's a employee appeal of termination. See, is Mr. Adams here? Look, Mr. Adams, before we get started, I just wanted to make sure that your appeal, you want to do it out here in the public and not in executive session in private in the back? Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure. Look, Mr. Adams, if you would come to the podium, please. Oh, no, I'm sorry, give me just a few minutes. I'm a little rusty on this procedure. Look, just an overview of, so administration is gonna have a 10-minute time limit, and they'll present their case. And after that, Mr. Adams, you'll have 10 minutes to come up and present. You don't have to use all the 10, but you were absolutely allotted 10 minutes and say whatever it is you want to say, a rebuttal, anything like that. And after that, administration will have 5 minutes, and then you'll have 5 more minutes. And then if we have any questions, we'll ask you and/or the administration after y'all's time limit is up. So at this time, I'll ask Mr. Diaz if you want to come up and present for administration. Oh, okay. Yep.
I know you made the statement that Mr. Adams can speak on his behalf, but his attorney can speak on
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Adams and/or his representative.
Okay.
You have an attorney. I'm Titus White. I'm a pastor at the church and also work at Ascension Parish. And I was here to help him out with this deliberation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Ms. Babbitt?
Council. On Thursday, May 8, 2025, Mr. Ricardo Adams was terminated for sleeping during work hours on April 28, 2025, and April 30, 2025. Sleeping during work is a violation of Ascension Parish Personnel Policy Manual, Subpart F, Paragraph 3A2. When deciding Mr. Adams' progression of discipline for this violation, his disciplinary record was considered, and he had just returned from a 10-day suspension for continued attendance challenges the same day that he was found sleeping the first time on April 28, 2025. Mr. Adams was given several chances to correct this behavior. Ultimately, due to the cumulative policy violations, Mr. Adams' supervisor requested to separate employment with Mr. Adams. That recommendation was approved by the administration. In addition to the administration's decision, the Human Resources Review Board also voted to uphold Mr. Adams' termination at that time. It was then sent to Parish President Quintmall, and as you know from the paperwork that you have provided tonight, he did continue that to uphold.
Just to be clear, on the evidence side, you've all been provided with the packet that's been accumulated with regard to this termination. This, terminating anybody is difficult. It's like expelling kids from school. Terminating employees is even more difficult because it's taking away a person's job. But the allegations here are very serious. We hear people joking all the time about our employees sleeping at the end of streets and all. And so it's something we have to take very serious, and the administration takes very serious. And so this record is not flimsy at all. In fact, it's flimsy in that it's only 3 pages, but it's not flimsy in the weight of the evidence that we have, which is we have 3 photographs of this gentleman sleeping in his parish truck. And we hear these things about all the time about our employees are sleeping at the end of the road, and we're just trying to put a stop to it. He had been disciplined for 10 days. His first day back from being disciplined for 10 days for attendance challenges. What does he do? Falls asleep in the truck twice. Next day, does okay. Next day, falls asleep again. The parish president, the administration take this very serious. We take the allegations and the community rhetoric and innuendo about our sleeping employees very serious, and we're trying to put a stop to it. I hate that it has to be him that we use to put a stop to it, but it has to be somebody that we put a stop to it. So we support the recommendation, termination, and we request that you do as well. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. All right, Mr. Adams.
Yes, good evening. It's all right for my representative to come up?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you, Council. Thank you, Parish President. For everything, there's a cause and an effect. Mr. Adams has been going through a very difficult divorce. For the last several months, it's been very toxic in his marriage, and also he's been sleeping in his car. So the cause and effect of him sleeping on the job was not that he was out partying, drinking, sleeping, anything like that. Because he was sleeping on the job because of what he was going through at home. And so I'm asking the council, I'm asking the president to give him another opportunity to get him some help that he needs. Everybody on the job was devastated when he got fired because they know the type of person he is. He has a great heart, he's a great worker. He wasn't sleeping while the other men were working. On their way to the job, he fell asleep, and they didn't wake him up. So I'm not belittling his sleeping, I'm just saying that he needs help. He's going through a very serious situation at home. He's going through a divorce right now, and it's weighing heavy on him. He's going through depression, he's going through anxieties, and so I'm just asking that we would show favor and show grace to him on this most pivotal time in his life. Jade Robinson told us, I think last month in our meeting, he said he wanted to build a culture of a family center here at the parish. And I can't see no better time now to show you gratitude for families, not to kick someone out at the lowest time in their life, but to get them the help that they need. So I'm asking that the council will give him another opportunity. He's been here for 16 years, and I hate to see all that just go to waste because of what he's going through at home. Not because he's out partying, not because he don't care about his job. He's going through a very serious situation at home, very toxic. So I'm asking that the council would render a judgment to reinstate him, to give him his job back. Thank you.
All right. Would administration like to utilize your second 5-minute time frame? All right. Mr. Adams and your representative, y'all are all good on your comments? Okay. At this time, does any of the council members have any questions for administration and/or Mr. Adams? Yeah, Ms. PT.
Mr. Adams, can we
get him to the
Yeah.
microphone?
Mr. Adams, do you mind?
I've got a couple questions. Firstly, your marital issues, when did those start?
I want to say about like a year ago.
Okay.
I was able, but then it got serious, and I was trying to work on it, but it didn't work out.
And when that started to occur, did you report it to your supervisor at any point? Or did you report to your supervisor at any point that you were sleeping in your car?
No, sir.
Okay. Hang on, let me see. It says, when I'm in the data and some of the reports, it says that you were, some of your absences or tardies were due to medicine that you were taking for your teeth?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Did you report that to supervision that you were on any type of medication at any point?
Well, during that time, I did, but it was too late.
Okay. So it was after the fact, right? You
Yeah.
went through a coaching or a corrective action, and
Yes, sir.
then you reported that you were actually on medicine, correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
it affects, obviously, it affects your ability to stay awake and be aware, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last question, I think. After you came off of your suspension, because when you look here, and I have to do this every day where I am, you've got a 5-year period where you've had several coachings, right? Several corrective actions done. 4 instances of suspensions, 5 instances of suspensions. And I want to make sure at any point during that, based on what I'm reading here, did you report to your supervision at all that you were going through personal issues or you had anything else that you, other than the after the fact like we talked about?
No.
At any one of those other points in any of those 4 or 5 years, did you give a personal reason for, late or inability to call within the period when you were going to miss or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. I'm good on questions. Thank you.
Any more questions for Mr. Adams or administration? All right, at this time, the chair entertain a motion. We have 2 options: to overturn the termination of Mr. Adams or to uphold it.
Motion to uphold.
Okay, and just as a reminder, with 10 council members present, it takes 7 votes to overturn the termination. But we do have a motion by Mr. Cullen and a second by Mr. Varnado to uphold the termination. Are there any objections? Hearing none. So moved. The termination is upheld, Mr. Adams. All right, agenda item 12B, approval for Ascension Parish government to pay subrogation claim for rental damage. And I do need a motion and a second to enter. I have a motion by Mr. Varnado, a second by Mr. Hillensbeck. If everyone could please vote to enter executive session.
Motion to reconvene?
Motion to reconvene by Mr. Hillensbag, second by Mr. Vornado. We are reconvened. Chair will entertain a motion.
I want to make a motion to approve reimbursement claim as discussed in the executive session contingent upon coverage determination.
Got a motion from Ms. Alonso. A second from Mr. Hillensbag. Any objection? Hearing none. So moved. Chair will entertain a motion to re-enter executive session. Motion by Ms. PT, a second by Mr. Hillensbag. If everyone will please vote to enter executive session. All right, we will be back.
Need a motion?
Motion to reconvene by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Chair will entertain a motion.
I want to make a motion to approve the settlement as discussed in executive session.
Ms. Alonso with the motion, second by Mr. Vornado. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Motion adjourned by Mr. Vornado, second by Mr. Arsenault. We are adjourned.